Welcome back to the Alternative Entrepreneur Channel. I bet you didn't know politics is all about persuasion. It's about convincing people that your ideas are the best, that your vision for the future is the right one. And for as long as there have been politicians, there have been attempts to sway public opinion. In the early days, it was all about speeches in the public square and pamphlets handed out on street corners. But as technology evolved, so too did the methods of political persuasion. The printing press, for example, was a game changer. Suddenly, political messages could be mass-produced and distributed far and wide. Newspapers became battlegrounds for competing ideologies. Political cartoons, often satirical and biting, offered a powerful way to sway public opinion. Think of it as the original form of going viral. But the real revolution in political communication came in the 20th century with the advent of mass media. First, it was radio, then television, that transformed how politicians connected with the electorate. No longer were people limited to reading about candidates in the newspaper or catching a glimpse of them at a rally. Now, they could hear their voices and see their faces in their own homes. This shift to mass media marked a turning point in political advertising. It ushered in an era where campaigns could reach millions of voters with carefully crafted messages designed to influence their decisions. It was the dawn of a new age of political persuasion, one where image often mattered more than substance, and where the catchiest slogan could make all the difference. Imagine this. It's the 1930s, and a new invention called the radio is sweeping the nation. For the first time, Americans could tune in and hear the voices of their leaders beamed directly into their living rooms. Politicians quickly realized the power of this new medium. It was a direct line to the hearts and minds of voters. Franklin D. Roosevelt, arguably one of America's most effective communicators, mastered the art of the radio address. His fireside chats during the Great Depression provided comfort and reassurance to millions of Americans struggling through tough times. He spoke plainly and directly, connecting with people on an emotional level that newspapers simply couldn't replicate. But radio wasn't just about speeches. Jingles, those catchy little tunes that get stuck in your head, also became a staple of political campaigns. Think about it. If you're a politician, wouldn't you want your name and message constantly playing in the minds of voters? It's like subliminal advertising, but with a bit more melody. Newspapers, despite the rise of radio, remained a powerful force in shaping public opinion. Political endorsements from newspapers could make or break a candidate. And let's not forget the power of political cartoons. These visual commentaries, often witty and scathing, provided a running critique of political figures and policies. They were the original memes, capable of going viral and swaying public opinion with a single well-placed image. The 1950s saw the rise of television. This new medium brought images and sound into people's homes. Politicians could now speak directly to voters. The Kennedy-Nixon debates were a watershed moment. Image matters. Kennedy projected energy and vitality. Nixon appeared pale and sweaty. Television's impact went beyond appearances. The Daisy ad marked a turning point in political advertising. Section 4. Going negative, the rise of attack ads. Politics has never been for the faint of heart. But somewhere along the line, political advertising took a decidedly negative turn. Attack ads, those 30-second jabs aimed at tearing down opponents rather than building up a candidate's own message, became the norm. The 1988 presidential election is often seen as a turning point in the use of negative campaigning. The campaign between George H.W. Bush and Michael Dukakis featured a barrage of attack ads, most notably the infamous Willie Horton ad. This ad, which used the image of a convicted murderer who had been released on furlough, played on racial fears and painted Dukakis as soft on crime. The effectiveness of the Willie Horton ad, despite its controversial nature, solidified the use of attack ads as a key strategy in American politics. Candidates and political action committees, or PACs, realized that negative ads, however distasteful, could be incredibly effective at swaying public opinion. Critics argue that attack ads erode trust in the political process and discourage people from voting. They create a climate of cynicism and negativity that makes it difficult to have a reasoned debate about the issues, But proponents argue that negative ads, while not always pretty, can be an effective way to highlight important differences between candidates. They argue that voters have a right to know about their choices, even if that information is presented in a negative light. Section 5. Clicking for candidates. The digital campaign trail. Hold on to your hashtags, folks, because the internet has arrived and it's turning the world of political campaigning upside down. The 2008 presidential election marked a turning point, with Barack Obama's campaign demonstrating the power of online organizing and fundraising. A well-crafted message, shared widely on social media, could go viral and reach millions of potential voters overnight. This micro-targeting, while incredibly effective, also raised concerns about privacy and the potential for manipulation.